Wagwan FPL, and yes, right there, now. It's the wrap up, you don't know. And yes, right there. Week 24, you don't know. And yes, right there. So let's start the week off, man. First matchup was West Ham versus Sunderland. My prediction, Sunderland was going to take this game right here 2-1. So let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was West Ham took this game right here 3-1. Very surprising to me. I thought Sunderland was going to do well and perform and take this game right here. But let's talk about the Sunderland players that perform. For Sunderland, we got Barbie right there. He's a 6-star general. He's in form. His price is 5.5. He's a forward. So if you're looking for a forward to put in your squad, maybe Barbie's the one you need to put in your squad. Or you could look at a defender right there, Nordy. He's a what? A 5-star general. He's in form. His price is 5.5. The next game right now for Sunderland is against Burnley. So it may be a good time to get some Sunderland player because you know Burnley's the side that is struggling right now, and Sunderland's gonna need to bounce back. So when I do my prediction though for next week as my prediction week, you don't know I pick Sunderland to win that game. But I'm gonna look at that matchup clearly. But like I said, those are the players for Sunderland you should look to put in your side. You got Barbie, you got Nordy right there, you got a Ford and the defenders. So let's talk about the players from West Ham right now. Now, for West Ham now, we got a lot of players in the list for West Ham now. West Ham right there got Bowen. Bowen is the general, man. Whenever he get his chance, he perform. He's a forward right there. He was able to get a goal and assist. He's in form. His price right there is 5.6. No, you also got a new forward on the list right there. Not in form, but his price is 5.5. And you also got Fernandez, a midfielder. He's a 5-star general right there. He's getting up there in form. His price is 5.5 right there. And you also got a defender on the list right there. Not in form, but his price is 4.3. And look at that. This I said, man, West Ham got a lot of players. They got Somerville right there. He's performing. Back to back, he's been performing. You could see that Somerville was able to get an 8-pointer right there and a 10-pointer. You see that the boy is performing, man. He's a 4-star general. You could look at Fernandez right there again. You see that he performed back to back. He was able to get an 8-pointer and a 9-pointer right there. So you could see that West Ham got some players that's performing. The next game is against Chelsea. That's going to be a tough game right there. But like I said, West Ham got some players that performing if you want to put them in your squad. They got what? Bowen, a new striker right there, Fernandez, they got a defender, and they got Somerville. So let's get into the next prediction. The next prediction that I made was Burnley versus Spurs. I thought Spurs was going to take this game right here 2-1. So let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was, this was a draw game right here, 2-2. Like I said, man, Spurs is an iffy side. Up and down. You never know when they're going to win a game right there. Like, I got some things to say about that coach, and I'm going to say it right now, man. Like, that coach, I think he should be fired, man. I think he should be sacked. Because the last coach that was there, he was doing well. He won a title for them. And because he was in 17th place in the Premier League, they sacked him. Now, Spurs is in the Champions League and in the Premier League. In the Champions League, they're in like what, 5th or 6th place. They're doing well, but it's not a champion. It's not a medal. That's not a medal. You know what I mean? But in the Premier League now, they're at like 16th place. So definitely, man, that coach needs to be sacked. But we're gonna talk about the players that we should have in our squad. For Burnley now, see Burnley they got a new defender on the list right there. He was able to perform against Liverpool and Tottenham to pick up some positive points right there. Now you got Forrester right there, a forward right there. He's a 4-star general, was able to get a goal. He was able to pick up a 5-pointer right there. Not in form, but he's a very cheap forward right there. Now you also got Walker right there. He's a 2-star general, not in form, but his price is 4.4. So you could see that Burnley got some players that's not in form, but they do got some players on their squad. Their next game is against Sunderland. Not sure if you want to pick up against Sunderland, so Sunderland's coming up against a loss, and Sunderland's a very good squad. So let's talk about the players from Spurs that we should have in our squad. For Spurs, no, we got Romero. You could see that Romero is a 4-star general. Back to back, he was able to pick up some positive points right there. And he's in form. Their next game is against Manchester City. They beat Manchester City the last time out. So let's see what's going to happen when they're going up against Manchester City this time. Manchester City is coming off of a win, even if they've been playing iffy. But I think Manchester City should take this game right here. You also got Van der Den right there, was able to get a 7.0. He's also in form. So you could see that Burnley got not Burnley, sorry, but that Spurs got two defender that's in form right there. They got Romero and they got Van der Den. I know, let's look at this midfielder right here, the two-star general, not in form, but he was able to pick up an 8-pointer. Like I said, the next game is against Manchester City. Manchester City look like they got to start bounce back. I think they're going to be in a positive mood because my side, Arsenal, was able to jab some points. So I think they're going to want to close that gap. But like I said, those are the players right there for Spurs if you want to look to them to put in your squad. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up. My prediction, Fulham versus Brighton. I thought Brighton was going to take this game right here, 2-1. Let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was, it was a flip-flop. Fulham was able to take this game right here, 2-1 against Brighton right here. So let's look at the players from Brighton we should have in their squad. For Brighton, no, they have a midfielder right there. He's a 5-star general. He's up there in form. The next game for Brighton is a game against Everton. Everton just draw their game. We're going to talk about the Everton players later in the video right here. But like I said, these are the player right here for Brighton we should have in our squad right there. He's a 5-star general. He's in form. His form is 6. He was able to pick up 11-pointer right there. And you also got a new defender on the list right there. He's 4.2. He was able to pick up a 5-pointer. But we're going to talk about the players from Fulham. For Fulham now, Fulham got a defender right there, Anderson. No stars right there because he's just coming on the list right there. He's not in form, but his price is 4.6. You also got King right there. He's a midfielder. He's a 2-star general right there. He's able to pick up a 4-pointer in that game right there. No, you also got Samuel. Samuel is a 6-star general, man. He was able to pick up a 6-pointer in that game right there with a goal. But look at Wilson. Wilson is a midfielder that everyone should have in their squad right there. He's up there in form. His price is 6.0. He was able to pick up a 10-pointer. Their next game is against Manchester United. That's going to be a good game right there. A great game because, you know, Manchester United just beat my side Arsenal. So that's going to be a very good game right there. And look at the players that you could have in your squad. You could have Wilson because Wilson is a performer. Or you could have Samuel in your squad. But let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, Manchester City versus Wolves. My prediction, this game was going to be a 4-1 right here. Let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was Manchester City did win this game, but they was able to win this game right here 2-0. So let's talk about the players we should have in our squad. So the players we should have in our squad now for Manchester City, we should have Mattis right there. Mattis is a 5-star general. He's a defender. He's in form. His price is 5.4. No, you also got Bernardo right there. He's a 3-star general. Not in form, but his price is 6.2. You got Semenya right there. You know, finally moved to Manchester City doing his things on the list right now. Look at all that star that boy have. You definitely should have him in your squad, man. He's he was able to pick up an 8-pointer in that game right there. And you also got Mamouche. He's a 2-star general. He was able to get a 10-pointer right there. And when you have the goalkeeper, you know you always got to talk about the clean sheet, because you know the clean sheet bring the goalkeeper in the match right now. Like I said, I had this goalkeeper right here in my wildcard video. He's a goalkeeper I think people should have in their squad right there. He got all that stars right there. Look at that. He's able to pick up an 8-pointer. The next game is against Tottenham. You know Tottenham is an iffy side. Never know they could win a game. So you know Manchester City might steal this game right here. Big. Very big. So I think if you want to start some Manchester City players in your squad, these are the players that we should look to start in our squad. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next matchup, Bournemouth versus Liverpool. My prediction, I thought this game right here, Liverpool was going to take this game right here 3-1. But let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was Bournemouth took this game right here 3-2. Very nice game to watch. Very good game. And I mean, good comeback right here. So let's talk about the players we should have in our squad. For Bournemouth now, if we have a defender like Hill right there, not in form, but his price is 3.9. You also got a midfielder right there who's a 3-star general, Scott. Not in form, but his price is 5.0. And then we got Evan Nilsson right there. Evan Nilsson is a general, man. The boy's getting up there, man. He's in form. His price is 7.0. You could see that he's performing for his team. No, you also got Adele right there. Look at that. Back-to-back, he was able to pick up positive points. He's a 3-star general. And you also got another defender on the list right there. Was able to pick up 7 points. He's a 3-star general. And those are the players right there for Bournemouth we should have in their squad. Their next game is against Wolves right there. So you definitely want to start some Bournemouth players if you have them in your squad because they're going against Wolves. So let's talk about the players from Liverpool we should start in their squad. For Liverpool now, if we got Virgil now. Virgil is owned by a lot of people, man. I mean, his price is 5.9. He's up there. His form is 4.8. You also got Soberslai. Soberslai is the general, man. He's a 4-star general getting up there in form. His price is 6.6. And you also got Salah. Salah is back. So you know Salah is up there. His price is 14.0. He was able to get a 5.0. He's a general with all that stars. The next game right there is against Newcastle. You know Newcastle is a squad that's always iffy, man. Sometimes they lose, sometimes they win. So you might definitely want to start some Liverpool players in your squad. And those are the players they should look to put in your squad. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, we have Brentford versus Forest. My prediction, I thought Brentford was going to take this game right here, 2-1. Let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was Forest, a shocker to me, was able to take this game right here, 2-0. So let's talk about the players we should have in our squad. For Forest now, you got a defender right there, not informed. His price is 4.7. But back-to-back, he was able to pick up positive points at 5 and 11. You also got Gibbs White. Gibbs White is a general right there performing for his squad. Look, he's informed. His price is 7.3. He was able to pick up a 6.0. You also got Eagle right there. He's a 4-star general. Not informed, but his price is 5.8. He was able to pick up a 9.0. And you got Anawani right there, forward right there. Not informed, but his price is 5.2. He's coming back, so you know Forest got some players. Their next game is against Newcastle, so you know if he plays right. But we're going to get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. I thought Chelsea was going to take this game right here 3-1. That was my prediction. And the actual result was 3-1. I picked this game right here right. So I was correcting everything right there with the result and with the score right here. But here are the players for Crystal Palace that performed. For Crystal Palace, you got Richard right there, defender. His price is 4.4. He was able to pick up a 7-pointer. You also got another defender right there, Chad. What? He was able to pick up a 4-pointer. The next game is against Nottingham Forest. So, definitely. You know what I mean? This game right here is going to be a tough game because Crystal Palace is struggling and Forest just won a game. So, we're going to talk about that when we do the matchup. So let's talk about the players from Chelsea. For Chelsea, you know, you got Enzo. Enzo is a general with all that stars right there. He's in form, way up there in form. His price is 6.7. Back-to-back, he was able to pick up some positive points. So you definitely want to have Enzo in your squad. You also got Pedro right there. Pedro is also a general. He's a forward. His price is 7.2. He's getting up there in form. Back-to-back, he was able to pick up positive points at 8 and 12. And you got Estavo right there. He's a 6-star general. He was able to pick up a whopping 13-pointer right there. Their next game is against West Ham. So you see that West Ham is a side that's struggling. So you definitely want to have some Chelsea players in your squad. And these are the players we should have in our squad for Chelsea. Let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up, Newcastle versus Aston Villa. My prediction, Newcastle was going to take this game right here, 2-1. Let's get into the actual result. And the actual result was Aston Villa took this game right here, 2-0. I always believe in Newcastle, man, but Newcastle be disappointing me sometimes. But let's talk about the players from Aston Villa that's performed. For Aston Villa now, you got Watkins. Watkins is a general, man. He's up there in form. His price is 8.8. He was able to pick up an 8-pointer in that game right there. You also got Buendia. He's a 6-star general. Pick up a whopping 11 points right there. His price is 5.3. You also got Rogers right there. Rogers was a, see that? All that stars, man. The boy is a general, man. He was able to pick up an 8-pointer. You got Dinch right there, who was a 4-star general, was able to pick up a 3-pointer right there. The next game is against Brentford. Brentford that just coming off of a loss. You know Aston Villa, he's another side that is up there with City and Arsenal. And Arsenal just pick up a loss. So you know Aston Villa is definitely want to get a win to get that points right there to keep it tight up there in the top. So I'm definitely going to say if you want some players in your squad for Aston Villa, these are the players we should have in our squad. Alright, look at this right here, man. Very disappointed right here, man. My prediction, man, for this game right here, Arsenal versus Manchester City. I thought this game right here was going to be 3-2. But let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was with flips up. Like I said, I thought Arsenal was going to get the 3. But it was Manchester United that got the 3 right there. Arsenal got the 2. But these are the players right there we should have for Arsenal. Arsenal got Marino right there as a 6-star general. He was there to pick up a 7-pointer. And you also got Odegaard right there. He's getting up there in form. His price is 7.8. He was able to pick up a 4-pointer. The next game is against Leeds. Leeds just picked up a draw against Everton. So I know Arsenal definitely can go out there and get that win. They need to get that win because, like I said, man, City and Aston Villa is breathing down their neck, so they're definitely going to get that win. When I do that matchup video right there for next week, for week 25, we're going to talk about it. But let's talk about the players from Manchester United we should have in our squad. You don't know, I had no Groom in my wildcard team, man. Our boy's a general, man. He's in form right there. 6.2, his price is 4.4. Well, he was able, positive point back to back at 15 and 18. Now let's look at Mboma. Ever since he come back from the African nation, he get a positive point again. Look at that. 9 back to back, 9 in the 10. Up there in price. Price is 8.3, his form is 3.8. All that stars in the list show that the boy is a general. You also got Cunha right there. Cunha is in form. His price is 5.2. His price right there is 8.0. Back to back, he was able to get some positive points right there. A 4 and a 9 right there. Cunha is a general with all those stars. No, you also got Fernandez, man. Fernandez is a general, man. Can't talk about that boy too much right there. His form is 4.4. His price is 9.4. Back to back, he was able to pick up positive points right there. And you also got Maino. Maino's coming out there, man. Maino should have been a starter. His price is 4.6. So those are the players right there for Manchester United should have in their squad. Like I said, week 25 got some tough game. You could see that Manchester United is going against Fulham. And Fulham is just coming off a win. So you know that's going to be a great game to talk about. So let's get into the next wrap-up. Next wrap-up. Everton versus Leeds. My prediction, this game right here was going to be a 1-1 draw. So let's look at the actual result. And the actual result was a 1-1 draw. I picked this one right here. Let me see, like the Chelsea game was 3-1. This game right here was 1-1. Definitely, I got everything right here. So let's talk about the actual players that perform. For Everton right there, we got Barry right there. Barry's getting up there in form. Back to back, he was able to get a positive point right there. An 8 and a 9 right there. The boy's a general, a 5-star general. No, you also got Ghana right there, a 3-star general. Not in form, but he was able to pick up a 6-pointer. His price is 5.4. The next game right there for Everton is against Brighton right there. You know Brighton's a good squad that's been performing, but they just pick up a loss against Fulham. So that's going to be a good matchup to look at right there. Now let's look at the Leeds for the players that we should have in our squads. Leeds got a defender right there, Justin, not in form, but back to back he was able to pick up a 9-pointer right there, positive points right there. And you also got Stack right there. Stack is the general with all those stars right there. He was able to pick up a whopping 8 points right there. Their next game is against Arsenal, my side. Like I said, when you watch that matchup video, I'm going to do something totally different, man. I'm going to really look into the game them and talk about the games them some more. It's going to be a longer video. I'm going to talk about the games them some more to get really in depth with the squads them and just talk about them some more. But like I said, man, this is Wagwan FPL right here. But you don't know, that was Wagwan FPL. This is the wrap-up right here. I'm going to do the matchup video. Just look out for that for week 25. You don't know, yes, right there. And big up for yourself. Yeah.